Hi everyone, thank you for starting to join me. My camera's going to move around a little bit because I bumped it and I got it offline to where I had it previously all set up nice and neat. So give me just a second. It's turned funny. I might have to switch off and then switch back on. Hello Heather, hello Delva. Thank you for joining me from Puerto Rico. So if I have to switch off and switch back on, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can get it to turn the right direction. Or we'll just do it up and down. Hi, Jan. Okay. We might just have to do it this direction, and hopefully you'll still be able to see what I'm doing. Hi, Sandy. I am going to be showing you my face here in just a minute. I have my daughter behind me. She's not going to be showing her face because she doesn't want to. She is going to be telling me if you guys comment or have questions in case I don't see what's going on. And yes, so give me 1 minute and I will get my face on the camera for you, and then we will go from there. Thank you, Beth. All right, so I am going to twist my camera again and get you guys dizzy so you can actually see me talking. Woo, that's not me. Okay, let's try that one again. Thank you.
I don't know how to explain it.
Uh-oh, okay. So, sorry, we had a minor malfunction. My daughter fixed it for me because, you know, she's 12 and does tech stuff better than I do. So, hi, I'm Molly. I know, it's okay. Welcome to Cork and Thread. Welcome to my Christmas tree sew-along. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so please, you know, bear with me. Things might get a little crazy, like, you know, a dropped phone that shows you my floor and crazy things. So, like I said, my daughter Caroline is joining me in the background. She's going to stay in the background, but she's going to let me know if you guys have questions or can't see something or need something. So comment away. She will let me know what's going on. I hope you have your pieces cut because we're going to start with that. Today I'm going to be doing a purple one and using white thread so you guys can see what's going on. Let me show you a few examples before we get started. This one here is all finished. It has 4 sides. So lately I have been trying out the pattern with only 3 pieces instead of 4, and I actually kind of like it better that way. So I am going to show you how to modify it for just 3 pieces, which is super simple. You just take one of the pieces away. So this is the 4-sided one. Are you seeing it? And this is the 3-sided one. So you can kind of see that you can see the faces a little bit nicer. So if you have a print, it might be nicer to do a 3-sided tree instead of a 4-sided tree. And I think it just looks a little, I don't know, more open, maybe. So I kind of like my 3-sided tree better than the original 4-sided tree. But both are beautiful table decorations. You can put a string on them from the top, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. And you can use it as an ornament in a tree. I have also sized them up a little bit. So Here's the original size. Here is one at 125%. Am I in range here? So you can kind of see it's just a little bit bigger. And then here is one at 150% of the pattern. They're really pretty, all sitting together. I don't know, am I showing you? Here, I need to go that way.
Yeah, there you go.
All the sizes are really nice. They're really easy to do. Make a little height difference there. But today we're going to be working on the original size. So I'm going to juggle my camera around again. And we'll get started on sewing. So just a minute, let me get you all set up here.
Do you want me to turn this camera?
Yes, you can take the computer now since once I get this set for us.
Yeah, how do
Okay.
we, change it so it's not
Beth, I like the
gray?
three-sided one better. You can't.
I haven't used
I think you can see the faces a little bit better, and it makes it kind of nice. Okay, are you guys ready? Does that look okay? Are we kind of set up here and how we need to be? Because I can now no longer see it. My daughter took my computer, so I have no idea what you are seeing. So if you can't see what I'm doing, comment and Caroline will let me know. And of course, I left my one thing that I needed over at my table, my ruler. All right. I'm also going to reach across here, pull my pattern up on my second computer so that I am actually telling you the right things. I've made enough of these. Sometimes I just go, but I want to make sure I'm actually going by the pattern. Okay, so first things, we have all our 4 pieces. They're all nice and cut. I used my laser cutter on mine, which is really nice. The pattern does have the SVG file in there. So if you have a laser cutter, or if you have a Cricut or Silhouette or something like the blade cutting like that, is a really nice way to do that. Oh, I didn't show you. I think you can see this. This is one that was actually made with fabric. So if you don't have cork leather, or you don't have vinyl, or you don't have something that's a non-fray fabric, this also works. Caroline, can we see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a fabric one. So what I did was I actually cut a piece of fabric out, put some Decoville light on the back of it to get it a little bit stiffer, and then I cut my pieces out from there, and I sewed them just like you would normally sew them. So it does have a raw edge, and eventually this will probably, get a little worn and frayed looking, but I don't think that'll be a bad thing. So you can use fabric. So if you have some Christmas fabric that you really like, go for it. I would interface it with some sort of interfacing, probably a firmer interfacing as opposed to just like a woven one, but it will work for you. All right, let's get started. First thing you need to do is we're going to mark our center lines down each of our pieces here. Now, in reality, you can just mark it down one piece, because once you get your first 2 pieces sewn together, your center line is going to be marked by your other pieces. But we'll just go ahead and follow the pattern here, and we will mark it down all the centers. Well, that piece doesn't want to come off. Okay. All right. Our next step is to take 2 of our pieces that we're going to sew together first, And again, unless you are for some reason doing multiple colors on your sides, they should all be the same. I like to glue mine down with a little bit of fabric glue. I use this Beacon fabric tack. I find it dries really quick and holds together quickly. You don't have to glue it if you don't want to. I like to. I just think it kind of makes it stay in place just a little bit more securely. I also tend to put clips on mine as well, you know, double secure here. You're going to want to put the fabric glue on your first piece, just on this right side. Then we're going to put the next piece right on top so that your wrong sides are together. And get those lined up nicely so that your edges are nice and straight and in a line. Okay, so this is the side we glued over here, so I'm going to put a clip kind of just there so I don't forget what side we glued. And they're going to be wrong sides together. I also, of course it's not sitting here, like to put a little mark on this front side with some sort of erasable or wipe away pen. I use my little chalk pen. Just kind of see where my center is, and I just kind of put a little mark so I know where to stop my stitching. And then I'll just wipe that away. And you really only need to do this on this first side that you're stitching together. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come right up here. We're going to start at the top point, sew down the right side, and down to this middle mark that we just lined. We want to stop right there at the middle because we're going to fold these away to get our other sides on. I like to use just a little less than 1/8 of an inch. I move my needle over just a little bit, so it's just a little bit less than 1/8 of an inch. You can use 1/8 of an inch. I just like to have my stitches a little closer to the edge, so that's what I'll be doing for you guys today. So let's get started. If you want to keep it nice looking, you can not do a back stitch. You can just start and then leave long tails, pull them through and tie them off. Usually if I'm using a contrasting thread on purpose, that's what I'll do. It makes it look a little nicer than back stitching. If I'm using a matching thread, I just back stitch because you're not really going to notice it. Today I'm going to back stitch just to kind of keep things moving a little faster for you guys. Even though I'm using a contrasting thread so you guys can see what I'm doing. So let's start it. So we're going to get down here, we're going to turn it, stitch in toward the middle, and we're going to turn again. And you want to make sure that you're far enough in so that your edge is lined up to whatever mark you're using, whether it's an 1/8 of an inch or a scant 1/8 of an inch. You might have to go back and forth a few times, which you'll probably see me do. I've kind of got it down now that I know if I need to change my stitch length just a little bit, like I just did, to get it where I need it to go. Sometimes I have to backtrack. But it does not really have to be perfect. You can get it all lined up without too much trouble. And again, unless you're using a contrasting thread, no one's really going to notice if you're a little closer to the middle or a little closer to the edge than you should be. Alright, so we're coming down to the bottom.
Jan Banks asks what stitch length you're using.
Jan, is that what you said, Caroline? Jan, I am using a stitch length of 3 right now. Mostly because I found that that's a little bit easier to hit where I want to hit on my lines, I guess you could say. For distance wise, I don't have to switch my stitch length to hit to the edge, so I use a stitch length of 3. I don't like going smaller than that because it could be too tight for the cork. But you can do 4, 4.5, whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you like the look of best. All right, so as we come along the bottom, we're going to stop our stitching at this mark we made in the middle. And I'm going to back stitch for us here just to kind of keep things going. But if you want to keep it a little bit neater looking, leave long threads and then pull them through and tie them off. But for right now, I'm just going to back stitch. All right. If you pull your threads through and tie them off, you can take a lighter, as long as you're using not a cotton thread, and kind of burn those excess ends to secure it a little bit better. Even when I'm back stitching, sometimes I burn my ends just to keep them from, you know, flying every which way. All right, so we just stitched down our right side. Now we're going to take our tree, we're going to turn it so the stitching is now on the left side, and we're going to take our top layer and we're going to fold it over to the left. Here's where you're going to need your clips. Okay, and this is also why you don't necessarily need to make lines down each of your pattern pieces, because once you get these first two sewn together, you can see you're going to know where your center is. All right, so I put some clips here at the corners to kind of hold my piece up out of the way. And now we are going to put some more glue on, and we're going to glue down on this right side only. And put our third piece on. Wrong sides together, get those lined up. Nice and even. This is the nice thing about using an SVG cut file, whether it's with a laser or a cutting machine. They're all the same size. Before I had my laser, I would cut them out and they'd be all kind of like uneven, and then I have to go in and trim, and you know, that gets kind of tiring. So since I use glue, I kind of sit here and, you know, press on it a little bit, let the glue kind of adhere to each piece. It helps hold things in place if you go ahead and move your clips to hold all the pieces together now. All right. And now we're going to sew down the right side again. We're going to sew our third piece on. We're going to start right there in the middle. Try not to sew through where your fold is, so just to the right of your fold. And then when you stop here, you're also going to stop in the middle again, right before your fold. If you have trouble seeing that, you can make a mark. Just kind of see where your fold is. Or if you don't want to mark, sometimes I stick just like a pen, like a sewing pen, right here at the fold, so I know where to stop. And we're going to get started on that. I will say that the fabric on this left side is getting a little bit thicker, so when you make this first turn, you might have to use like a hump jumper or, you know, hand crank it to make sure your stitches go evenly across. It's not as bad for this one, but the next layer we put on, it can kind of get sticky right there with these smaller ones. All right, so let's get started on this one. Oh, that's going to be too close. Let's back that up just a little. I'm going to take my clip off here because it gets in the way. And I'm going to make sure I'm gonna have to hand crank that one. Maybe lift my foot up a little because I don't have my hump jumper here beside me. And I don't really want to go looking for it at the moment. So, there we go. These are incredibly quick to make. If you have vendor events coming up, holiday events coming up, you can batch make these and just go with it. Once you really get started going, you can make them in like 10 minutes. It's a very quick pattern, especially if you only use 3 sides instead of 4. It just makes it that much quicker. And since I'm sitting here talking to you guys, you know, it takes us a little bit longer. All right, so as we come up here, we want to make sure we stop before we get to the fold. We don't want to stitch our fold closed and our tree's not going to open. All right. So we stitched down the right side. If you turn it over, you can see we have our nice stitching that way. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn it. We're going to fold all our layers over to the left side, including this top layers, so that we see the wrong side. We're going to clip those in place. All right, at this point, I'm going to pause in the original pattern and I'm going to show you what you would do if you want to stop and only make it 3 sides. So if you want to make it 3 sides, follow me. If you want to stick with the original 4 sides pattern, hold tight. We'll get back to the 4th side in just a minute. So I started this one earlier for you guys so that we could see what was going on. So this would have been the 3rd side. The step we just did, we stitched down, okay? Now, instead of folding everything over like we just did to add the 4th side, what we're going to do is, sorry, let me reach for my glue, go ahead and put some glue on that side there, and we're going to take these 2 sides and glue them together. I am sorry, my PDF pattern has closed on me, so I don't know what step we're on, but basically you're going to move to the last step of the pattern and just skip putting the 4th side on, okay? So now we have a 3-sided tree as opposed to a 4, and we're just going to do the same thing here, and we're going to maybe put a clip here to hold things in place. It's all right, Caroline. Thank you, though, baby. She was going to turn my PDF pattern back on for me. The power button's at the top. Okay, so my daughter is, you know, an iPad baby. And that's all they use in school. And I don't use an iPad. I still have a Android. I don't even have an iPhone. I have an Android phone. So she's looking at my Windows computer going, what in the world is this? All right. Sorry, off topic. Here we go.
I was expecting the power button to be on the computer.
It was on the top of the screen.
No,
okay, so
keyboard.
on the keyboard. What you're going to do, and I guess I'll just go ahead and do it since this is going to be quick for you guys, is just sew down the side, just like we've been doing. It's the same step again and again. Which is what makes this pattern so easy. You just keep adding sides and keep doing the same thing. And especially for these smaller ones, the sides aren't very big, so you don't really have to do very much. Well, I messed that one up, didn't I? All right, let's make that stitch a little bigger. There we go. That's a little nicer. So I just shortened it to a 2 stitch length because I knew I was getting close to the edge. And then I made sure I go back to a 3 because sometimes I'll shorten it so I don't have to lift up my presser foot and all that jazz. And then I'll forget to put it back to the 3 or to the stitch length that I was at, and then I have all these teeny tiny stitches. And that just doesn't look as nice. Alright, so just to reiterate here, what I'm doing now is I'm sewing up the 3-sided tree for you just real quick to show you what it looks like. We'll go back to the 4-sided one in just a second. So, all right. Alright, so if you were sewing a 3-sided tree, you are now done. Here is your tree. 3-sided, so you have 3 equal sides there. A nice, beautiful Christmas tree tabletop. Like I said, I'm kind of liking these 3-sided ones. I think it shows the actual, like, panel a little bit nicer as opposed to the 4 where it's a little more folded, but up to you. All right, so that was the 3-sided one. We're going to now go back to the 4-sided one. I'm going to stretch over here. Sorry if you're seeing some weird look on my face.
You can't see your face.
I think you can't see my face. I love my daughter. She's over there telling me all these things. I think we're now on step 15 if you're going with the pattern here. So we just sewed our 3rd side down to our 2nd. We're going to put our glue on, and this is where you might want to also use clips as well as glue, because this fold here is going to be a little bit high. If you have the hump jumper, like I said, you might want to use that or some sort of piece of fabric or something to lift that foot up so that it rolls over this fold a little bit better. Or you can just hand crank it, which is what I normally do because I'm lazy and don't like going and looking for my hump jumper thing. I really probably should put it somewhere that I can easily find it. And I don't know why it keeps moving on me, but sometimes things disappear in my household. I don't know if it's like that in your household or not. Okay. All right, so we just put our 4th side on. We're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to start here at the top, stitch down this right side, and we're going to stop here in the middle. The nice thing I have found about like the fabric tack, the Beacon fabric tack glue, is you don't really have to wait very long and like let it dry before you start. It's not going to gum up your needle, or at least it hasn't gummed up mine. And it tends to hold things in place pretty quickly. And again, this is mostly just to kind of keep things slightly more stable and in line. You know what? Sorry, you're gonna have my hand in your view here for a second. I'm gonna use this piece of webbing to help me get over that fold. Nope, still didn't work. All right, that's okay. We'll just push it forward here a little bit. There we go. come along the bottom. We're going to end there right before the fold. Back stitch or pull those nice long threads to tie off. And you know what? I forgot to back stitch up there. So let's look at tying off threads. And pull both your threads over to the same side. Tie 2 or 3 good knots in there. Clip. And I like to burn my ends to help secure it just a little bit more. Let's go ahead and get those stray threads there. Okay. So we just stitched our 4th side on. We stitched down the right side. But we have these 2 that need to be stitched together now. Okay? So again, fold everything over to the left. I think we are now on step 17. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the comments if you're following on the steps. So you want to fold all of your stitch sides. There should be 3 of them. 1, 2, 3 over. I like to clip them together just to kind of keep them out of the way. And you're going to have 2 pieces that aren't stitched together yet. A little bit of glue to help out here. All right. If you're wanting to make this an ornament or something you can hang on something, this is a good place to add in whatever thread you want to use to hang. And of course, I forgot my thread. It's sitting over here. Give me just a second to clip it. So, whatever cord you want to use, I tend to tie a knot just to kind of give it a little more security. And then what you want to do is just slide it in here between your edges, okay? And then you're going to fold everything down. I am making most of my trees to head over to one of the shops that I keep, that I sell some of my stuff in. And they're going to be for tabletop decor. So I'm actually not going to put any hanging on my tree. So that's what you would do if you want it. I'm going to go ahead and take that back out since I'm making some tabletop decor. And again, because this fold is nice and thick, I'm going to help out myself and put some clips over here on the non-stitched side just to kind of keep things a little more secure. If you do put something in for hanging, you'll want to go back in and kind of just put a little stitch across the top. That'll help secure it a little more. Because there will be a little opening in the top. Let's see if I can find one here. If your stitches don't all connect, actually, I did a really good job with that one and all my stitches connect. But if your stitches don't all connect, sometimes the cord can slip out. So check the cord if you need to put a little bit of a stitch across the top when you're done. That'll help. All right, this is your last side, guys. Let's backstitch again. There we go. Now, I like to say things are always nice and even and never shift, but you probably will have a little bit of shifting. Depending on how meticulous you are and how much the shifting is, you might have to go in and trim. If you're not extremely concerned about it, you know, just let it go. once you make enough of these, you'll kind of know how far you need to go down or go over just by look. And I need to scoot that along because there we go. But don't be afraid to, you know, lift your foot up, your presser foot up, if you need to, and scoot things around so that you are the distance away from the edge that you want to be. Caroline, how are we doing over there? Anything I need to answer or
Nope.
comment back to?
Nope.
Nope, all right. Okay. We just stitched our final two sides together for the 4-sided tree. I'm going to go through and look at all my little cut marks. So see, I have a thread here that I don't like. So I'm just going to burn that down. I got some longer threads there. I don't know what happened there. Okay. I'm going to go in and do some final touch-up work here. Just get things nice and neat. That looks good. All right. Oh, there we go. We have a nice, pretty plum Christmas tree. Lovely, lovely. Oh, it looks a little weird there. That's okay. All right. So what do you guys think? Easy? Yes? How long did that take? That took about 30 minutes for us to do.
Oh, says hi.
Oh, hi, Mom. My mom's on because she loves me. Yeah.
Jan asked what kind of laser cutter you recommend.
Oh, Jan. Okay, so the laser cutter I have is called an X-Tool M, as in Molly, 1. I really enjoy it. It's actually on the floor at the moment because usually it's sitting right over here behind my sewing machine because I haven't got a second table for it yet. It is a diode laser as opposed to like the more known Glowforge, which is a CO2 laser, which is a stronger laser. I have a background in chemistry, so I could go into it a little more, but I won't bore you all with it right now. But I have a diode laser because I'm not cutting wood and things that I need a stronger laser for. If you want more information, I will send that to you separately, but I'm really liking it. But if you're just using it to cut fabric, I would recommend a diode. They're cheaper than the CO2, and they're not as loud. So, all right, but back to the Christmas tree. Here is our 4-sided one. Here is our 3-sided one. I am going to revise the Christmas tree pattern, hopefully by the end of the week, to kind of add in how to do a 3-sided one. And that will go out automatically to everybody who has already bought the pattern. You'll just get an update. So, what do you guys think? They're nice, they're simple, they're fun to make, they're quick to make, especially if you're not talking while making them, or trying to do, 5 other things while making them. I wrote it for Cork because that's what I typically and primarily use. You can definitely use it with fabric. I would just recommend interfacing it to give it a little more stability. If you are a vinyl or a leather or even Craftex, is that what it is? Yeah, Craftex, the paper, the washable paper. Those are really cool. Anything that has a non-fray edge would work really well. But like I said, if you want to use fabric because those are beautiful too. So there we go. I am going to flip myself here and talk to you again. Oh, no.
I asked if you would consider doing a live with the laser cutter.
Jan, I will think about that. Doing a live with a laser cutter. Actually, I was just about to talk more about doing lives. If you guys think this one went fairly well, let me know. I have a number of patterns that are nice and simple and short and sweet. Caroline, those wallets that are sitting next to you, can you toss me one of those? Because I forgot to bring it over here. Woo! Get a toss, baby girl. I have a slim card wallet here. This is another great Christmas pattern. It's great for putting gift cards in if you don't know what else to give but a gift card. I have some nephews that I have that situation with. So last year I put their gift cards in this because it just gives a little bit of extra. So it will hold, has 3 slots. It's nice and simple and great to make. It is another free pattern. If you guys want, we can do a live on this one. I also have some other pretty simple patterns that would be quick to make. I have the Stevie wallet, which is another minimalist wallet. Has an ID slot, some card slots. These are really quick and simple to make. I have the Ellis bifold. That's also really fast to make. Another pattern I have is my Evie wallet. I don't know how many of you have seen this one, but it again is a very quick pattern. Has 3 card slots here, a nice slip pocket back here, and a coin pouch. This one actually takes a little hardware, a zipper, and a snap, whereas these 3 take no hardware whatsoever. But if you are interested, send me a message, write me a comment, and we can do another live and do another quick tutorial on how to make some of these. My lives, I'd probably want to do shorter patterns, smaller patterns such as these, just so we're not on the computer for a really long time. And let me switch over so you can actually see my face. I'm going to move my, hopefully. All right. Can you see me okay? Yes, yeah, okay. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm so happy for all of you who came and supported me, supported my small business. I'm going to move around here a little bit. I really appreciate it. I'm excited about how everything is going. I'm excited about my patterns. I have some fun things in my head that need to get out on paper, so be patient. They are coming. I have some new things that are becoming in the new year. But let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see, and maybe they can happen. So, thank you so much for joining me, and yeah, we'll talk again later. Bye.